Ano and Lilas. Yes, the premiere is literally here, about to begin. You can see the countdown on the screen, and this is so last minute that I'm not even wearing a band shirt. My band shirts are there. I only wear them for recording or special events because otherwise I have to wash them more and then the print runs out. So I'm just wearing a normal shirt. Now, just in case you were wondering, yes, I have on my main channel, Baka Broadcast, I did a whole video about Ano and Lilas and this whole project, and I went into a lot of detail and effort talking about it. But hey, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a reaction because this is them on the first take again. Now, obviously, if you've been following, they did the 2 songs together. One was Ano featuring Lilas, one was Lilas featuring Ano. I covered both of them in that video as well. And they did the first take version of the Ano featuring Lilas song already. And it was really cool. A lot of people responded. In fact, it was interesting hearing that much more raw. Of course, back then, not so long ago, I wasn't doing reactions. Now I'm doing reactions again. So I thought I'd pick up with the Lilas featuring Ano one. Now, obviously, I already have my opinions on this song. I really like it. It's the more stripped back, much more calm song of the 2. And the theme tune to part 2 of their collaboration on the that anime with a really long title. But I like this one because it's very simple. It's very raw already, the original version. There's some fun little production bits in it, but it's mostly about the interplay, the backwards and forwards between their vocals. So I'm expecting that. I mean, this is kind of built for the first take. It's made for that. But I'm interested because obviously on the first take, you don't want to just hear them do it as normal. You want to hear them add something. So let's see what they add. Oh, here comes the intro. I'm just going to add a little... Yay! There we go. I'm going to put that in chat. Oh no, I can't scroll up. There we go. Let's go. Oh, it's the first take, so you're going to have to listen to creaky headphones. The school tables is to remind us of the anime, I'm guessing. It's always with the creaky headphones. And now chairs. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 炭酸が抜けてるそうだみたい。甘ったるくても飽きた。手応えの一つすら感じられない毎日です。大したことない。ただしょうもない日々に今ささぐ。いつの日かそんなかけらがきらめくのです。見上げた空の色は変わってしまったけど。It's interesting how this sounds more produced than the original. この世界はどこか壊れていたの。お？あっけないくらいに無力な痛い言葉も君を笑顔にできるのならそれでいいんだ。バカバカしい無駄話で笑い飛ばしてやろう。やられてばっかりじゃいられない。今日も今日とて世界が僕ら置いてゆくのなら。Alright, really interested to hear how they do this bit where it builds up. A lot of things are already catching my attention. Let's see what happens here. Okay, as the original. まともそうにしてる先生もテレビの中のあの人も本当のことはいつもはぐらかしてばっかりで嘘も本当も丸も×も自己責任なら誰を敵に回そうと君のそばにいるそう君と二人 As much as I love the studio version, I've got to be honest, this song it plays towards that live sound. They fell out of time slightly. Oh, the sin. Yeah, I think the use of the electric piano, the use of the drum beat. Interesting that they went back to the acoustic for this bit. Anna's vocal performance on this version is very different as well, which I'll get into.
ねえ、オンタン、私たちちゃんとした大人になれるかな？余裕でなれるよ。だって僕たちは絶対だからです。
Oh yeah. So I don't know the laugh bit at the end. Obviously, that comes up in the real track, and I was wondering, are they laughing at the end because that's part of the song, or were they genuinely laughing? But that was lovely. All right, so I want to talk about a few things while they're fresh in my memory that were different about this version, because this version, it was really cool. I mean, as I said, unlike the first song they did together, that was a big song with a big arrangement. So just playing that live in any capacity made it interesting, because you wanted to hear it go from that big overproduced sound, which was really cool, into like a more live setting. And with the first song that they did together, I mean, I'll get back to this one in a minute, but I liked that. But for me, it was kind of like, it was good, but there were certain things like the drums were dragging a little bit. They weren't quite on point, and it just never quite... It was interesting, but it wasn't as good as the original. This one, I feel, is more like a genuinely, actually worthy, equal companion to the original version of this song. And that's because, as simple as the song is, because the original version of this song is so simple, you're thinking, how are they going to do it? Are they just going to play it exactly as is and just let us enjoy the tangibility of hearing it live? Or are they going to break it down to just being an acoustic version? But what they did instead was actually make some rather interesting changes. So the guitar line swapped out for an electric piano, which is interesting because I know the original guitar was already an electric guitar, but it's a very sort of, you know, people think of guitars and everyone's always like, oh, guitar, it's such a raw sound. You know, we trained to think of like a clean guitar as all very raw and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very purist. But then an electric piano is a much more, well, it sounds like a much more electric sound. So interesting for the first take, going for something which is perhaps not the sound that most musos would go for, but I really love the sound of an electric piano. I thought it was a beautiful, calming way to start. And then building that up, I mean, yes, the acoustic guitar came in later. The drum kit here hit much harder, because for a start, it was on time. Well, actually, no, there were little bits when it went out of time, but don't worry about that. The main thing is, it was, for most part, everything felt very much like it was together, and the drum kit just added an extra life. This is a very bouncy song, extra life to it, because this is a very bouncy song, and the drum kit really added to that. Again, that sort of tangible feel. You can really sort of feel every sort of little feel on the drum kit. It all feels real. It all feels like it's right there, and it adds so much life to it. So I really like that. Now, Anna's vocal style changed, because I said when I did the original piece that I showed you a little bit earlier, I said about this that for me, when you listen to the original version of this song, Lilas feels very comfortable, and Anna feels like she's kind of pushing more to hit the notes. And I said, actually, that's quite nice, because it adds a little bit of a feeling of like, you know, whereas on the first song, it felt very much like it was Anna's territory, and Lilas was there to sort of like lift it up and give a little bit of that sort of more, I don't know, more polished sound underneath, while Anna was doing the big, loud, crazy on top. In this song, it feels more like, you know, Lilas is doing her very sort of cool, calm, controlled performance, and Anna's kind of like the friend who's like calling and answering and giving a little bit of the humanity. It was interesting here, though, because given that this is the first take, Ano, I felt, was singing a lot harder in here. She was really sort of pushing the notes a lot more. She wasn't quite going for the same slightly cute delivery that there was in the studio version. Instead, she was pushing to really nail the notes, which is the interesting thing about the difference between a studio version and a live version sometimes. In the studio, you can deliver it with a little bit more character because, you know, you've got multiple takes. You can do it, just give it a little bit of character. I want to do a little bit like this, a little bit, you know, sort of like push to the notes really high. Whereas here it's like, no, I got to like really lean into the notes to make sure I'm not out of tune. So for me, you could really hear that in her performance. It was much more projection. It was much more sort of really pushing for the high notes, which was interesting. Better or worse, I've got to be honest. I think the Ano's delivery in the studio version was much more in line with the character of the song. But here it was nice hearing her use her vocal talent to, you know, really focus on like hitting every single note more than worrying about the character of the delivery. Overall, this was a bundle of fun. Really liked the way they reinvented the song, but still kept the basic heart of the song correct. Yes, as I mentioned, there was interestingly more timing issues in this than most first takes, but not like in when the Ano and Lilas did their previous first take, where, like I say, the drum kit was just like latency. It was like just a little bit behind all the way through. On this one, it was more a case of just there'll be like a little vocal break where the two of them went slightly out from each other, or a bit where the drum kit got a little bit ahead or a little bit behind. It felt very much like the sort of normal little skips out of time that you expect in a live performance. You know, it felt fun. It felt more like just people hanging around playing by a campfire kind of thing, where something will go out of tune, but it will just be part of the fact that it is live, rather than something which is consistently dragging like we had in the previous one. Yeah, this was a ton of fun. I'm glad I did this. I wasn't sure because I don't really like to do reactions just for the sake of cashing in on, hey, I reacted to this before, now I'm going to react to it live. It's like, if I haven't got anything worthwhile to say, then I don't really want to waste your time doing a reaction. So I'm glad this turned out to be a different version. It was really fun. It was really cool. Ano and Lilas, I'm going to drink some water. They're just brilliant. And this conveyed that so well. So anyway, there you go. That's my thoughts on this one. As always, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. I've got water all over my face. Remember, my main channel, Bagger Broadcast, also linked below. That has the video where I go into a lot more depth, and I put a lot of effort into doing like really good in-depth reviews over there. So I really appreciate if you go over, check that out as well. Big thank you to all. Love to see you. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. But for now, ciao, ciao. Where's the button? Ciao, ciao.